every journey has its own language. And until you're totally in it, you can't read between the lines. With fear specifically and anxiety specifically, those are momentary. And I think your gut is a voice that, like, when you sit down in the silence of your soul and you write out what you're scared about or what you're anxious about, because the definition of anxiety is simply fear of the unknown. Once you can find peace, in theory, you shouldn't have any more anxiety or fear. You should be able to take a logical perspective on that moment. Gregory Vetter Podcast, Go Mo, also known as Maurice Taylor.
I'm back.
He's back, everybody. We are moving on to section 3 of the field guide, reality checks, testing, tweaking, and trusting. I'm going to skip the first one because I don't actually really feel like talking about it. But this is funny because I saw a quote yesterday that I did not like, and it totally involved gut. Because I always talk about trusting your gut.
You do.
What if my gut and my brain are at odds? So I read a quote yesterday. The author, Mark Manson, I believe, he wrote the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I know that book.
It's a good book.
I don't think I fully read it through, but I think I purchased it and maybe started and I fell off.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of a deep philosophical take on doing what you should be doing and eliminating the nonsense, because people basically do the things they think they are expected to do. So kind of mastering the art of not giving a fuck and kind of pursuing what you should be pursuing. But yesterday on social media, he had something really interesting, which was he said, don't trust your gut. Trust reason. And I don't believe that. But I started thinking more about it. People confuse their gut with the emotional nonsense in their head, which I think is a dramatic and drastic mistake. And so your anxiety is not your gut.
Right.
That's not your fucking gut.
I was going to ask you, how do you tell a difference between the two?
Well, fear is not your gut talking. Now, it can be. It can be a signal. But understanding the clarity that your gut is trying to communicate with you.
Yes, how you do that?
Right? So, well, I think the first piece here is when I say trust my gut, the first assumption that I think I've been incorrectly talking about without a disclosure is you need to have a methodology for emotional regulation and then also have a plan where you can find quiet. Because your gut, which is different than anxiety, which is different than fear, which is different than reason, which is different than logic, that is a voice that will continue to voice its own concern in the thought process of a problem. And so the reason side, don't trust your gut, trust reason. Reason's a part of it, but it's not all of it. Because when you're sitting in a boardroom and your board is telling you that you're wrong because you're young and you don't know what you're talking about, maybe initially you go, okay, yeah, reason, that makes sense.
Right. You want to listen to the old.
Yeah, the time.
Like you said, and I hope.
I hope you're right.
I love for you to be right.
I love being rich. That's sick. If you're going to get me a $300 million check, dude, like, I'll shut the fuck up.
Go ahead.
That sounds great. But my gut was telling me This is incorrect.
So tell me, what it was
So
telling you-
initially I go, all right, I'll shut the fuck up. After the board meeting, I go home. I'm like, now let me use my brain. Let me use reason. Let me be rational. Let me be logical. Okay, I've got a former partner of one of the largest law firms in the world who's specialized in this, who's been an investor in that. Boom, 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 boom. Unemotional opinion, got it. Have the head of a home office, MBA in finance, does this for a living, been through the ringer.
and you're paying this guy.
Yeah, unemotional, logical, got it. Here is their 2 cents. They have a track record. So all of my reason, all of my logic, all of my brain is telling me what they're saying is correct.
All the way up to you, they were winning, in most cases, everything that they had to hand.
So we were always kind of at odds because I'm kind of a wild entrepreneurial cowboy and they're not. But at the same time, it's not like they were just straight up wrong on shit.
Right.
So you're always in these moments of my brain's telling me one thing, my gut's telling me another, my heart's telling me something else.
So were they they were playing a little cautious or what?
I think they didn't. I don't think they took into account, and I'll use The Alchemist as a reference, the language of the desert. Right? Every journey has its own language. And until you're totally in it, you can't read between the lines. And so often with fear specifically and anxiety specifically, those are momentary. And
Fear
I think
anxiety.
yeah. And I think your gut is a voice that, like, when you sit down in the silence of your soul and you write out what you're scared about or what you're anxious about, because the definition of anxiety is simply fear of the unknown. Once you can find peace, in theory, you shouldn't have any more anxiety or fear. You should be able to take a logical perspective on that moment. In that moment, that is where your gut, if that message is consistent, will pop back up.
I think I trusted my gut probably maybe about 3.5 months ago. So it was this lady. She had this big poem that started going viral on the internet. I seen it. So I seen the poem. I was like, oh shit, that's a cool ass poem. And everybody started liking it. I think April had sent it to me at one point in time. Nevertheless, probably since I seen it, probably a month, maybe went by, a month and a half. This other lady who I've been working with a long time, I think I illustrated her first kids book, like 2008 or 9 or something, whatever it is. She calls me. She said, hey Mo, I got this lady. She has this poem and she wants to make a coffee table book.
Oh, nice.
And she's looking for an illustrator. So she said, would you mind talking to her? She said, I just told her about you. She presented me with the idea. She said, I know the perfect person. I said, sure, I'll talk to her. So this woman comes with a PDF, just everything laid out, like the scenes, the coffee. She had like a reference image of what she wanted the drawings look like, which were, I could do that type of drawing, but it was like out of my range where I would really have to, like, it wasn't where I can just sit in the bed and I would just draw it up. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to have my coffee. I'm gonna have to wake up in the morning and I'm gonna have to sketch this out and I'm gonna have to draw it. So I looked at it, I put it in ChatGPT, say, how much would you charge for, I think it was like maybe 11 or 12 pages.
Mm-hmm. Of full,
it was like
art.
Full, like, it looked like somebody probably had made it in ChatGPT and then added a style to it.
Right.
So I was like, and you know how I am with pricing.
You're like, I can do it for free. Let me check my price.
I looked at it when she sent me the PDF, it was so detailed. In my mind, I was looking at this PDF. I was like, this already looks like a headache. The way
It already looks like
the way she had it laid out, I was like, and then it wasn't in my style. So I put it in Chat GPT. It came back like at, I think, like 7,000 or something like that. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot for that work.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I did Lord. So I sent it back. I said, even before that, I was like, I got a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's not my style. And I probably could only work on this on the weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And the way that PDF looked and the way when I talked to her, it just felt like she was very meticulous. Yeah, it felt like a lot. So I was like,
And you're like, I already deal with one asshole.
So nevertheless, I bounced it off my cousins. I was like, boom, what y'all think about this? I was like, boom. I said, man, that quote that chat gave me. I said, that seems like a lot. But nevertheless, I presented it. And I was like, I really don't want to do it anyway. Right. I'm going to present this quote and I add a couple of little extra on top. And if you perhaps go to it,
right,
maybe I'll do it. I even tried to find somebody else that I thought was awesome at drawing.
Right.
To refer her to. But nevertheless, I felt it in my gut to get back to the point. I was like, nah. So I sent it and she was like, oh my goodness, this is hard. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
But I felt it in my gut. Like, so I was like I was happy that she said not this time.
So was it, because I think that's interesting because Malcolm Gladwell has a really good book all about the gut called Blink.
Mm-hmm.
And he breaks down that our gut is something that has evolved over time to keep us alive. And it is able to basically assess energy and the situation and the moment, and it will send an alarm, but there's no kind of vocal communications down to the gut. So all it comes off is a feeling.
And it was ringing to me, dude, because I seen her viral video.
Yeah.
It had like 700,000, maybe something likes, like 1 million views. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
It looked good.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, this looks nice.
So then, just everything, I was like, nah.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm going to be up late. I was like, I don't really need
and
to
I
do
think
that.
that's a great differentiator or a great example on, it wasn't anxiety you had, right? That wasn't fear.
It was the way I like to do my work.
Well,
you know how I like to work. I want that motherfucker to look nice.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and it also comes back, I think the greatest way to explain it's like the language of the desert. It's like, my anxiety for a situation is not my fucking gut.
Right.
That's not it. That's fear of the unknown. That's me probably using my brain too much. That's me thinking about scenarios too much. That's me not having faith in God too much. And all I do in those spirals, which don't last very long, but I think it's an important point to bring up. Your gut is not your anxiety. And you need to be able to think and differentiate through those. Because if that's the case, no one would ever fucking do shit.
I think you can tell when it really boils down to it, if it's your gut or if you're just like really just overthinking.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I can feel, because when I come to certain, I guess places in the road where I'm thinking and I got things I need to think about.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can just feel it in my gut. And that was one reason I said, I'm going to go with my gut.
Yeah.
I should have just said no.
Right.
And not even center the quote like, oh, I wish I could. But, I think because of the popularity of the poem on social media, really really got me from over. Because because I'm getting pretty good at nipped it in the bud.
Yeah.
But I think it was that thing on social media, like the million views, that got me over that hump.
Little viral illustration never hurt anybody.
It got me over that first hump where first I was like, I don't got the time, I'm sorry, but I can refer you, or you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and I do think this is a point that needs to be hit home, because I write, when you're stuck and unable to make an important decision, you may be in the middle of a gut versus brain cage match. And it's interesting because that's what it feels like. And usually what I found is my gut runs in contradiction to some other powerful force, and that's how I know when it's my gut talking. So logic, for example, we've been fighting the good fight with one of our businesses, and things have been going wrong at a level that's hard to even describe. And the whole time my gut is saying, you need to keep going. I know this doesn't make any sense. I know that logically you should probably be doing the opposite of this.
Or like wrapping it up.
But you need to keep going.
And you're listening to your gut.
And I'm listening to my gut, and things are starting to break our way. Kind of out of the blue. Things have changed environmentally, and volumes that we never predicted are coming, and buyers have changed, and this has happened, and this has all been at the 11th hour and 59th minute where you literally, there's nowhere else to go. And this whole thing of, I talk about this with my kids, this belief in God in the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many different passages of scripture that talk about God didn't design you for doubt and anxiety and fear. That's
every scripture we read in our daily scripture book is like, just trust in me.
Well,
Come close.
It's the other guy. The other guy has doubt and anxiety and fear and all of this chaos that we think is our brain working for logic or reason. Don't trust your gut, trust that. And I tell my kids this all the time because they're like, I'm scared. I'm so scared I can't do something.
Mm.
And I go, God didn't build you with fear. You have it. Sometimes it's necessary. You see
you develop fear.
Yeah.
Young babies don't have fear.
Outside of, I think the only thing they're born with is it's like snakes and spiders. Universally, people I think are scared of, they're born that way.
They're born that way.
The rest of it though, you develop over time through self-doubt, through your parents' fears and worries and anxiety. But this whole thing of, what if my gut and my brain are at odds? In a logical way to try and make the process a little better is, now this doesn't really apply to this moment, but it's to check in with your core values. And so I have a list of core values. I also have a filter for business partners and new ventures, which is basically a set of core values for people. And I keep that handy. And when my gut and my brain are at odds, I take a look at that value system of what I believe in and what I'm currently doing. And I see if my gut or my brain are more in alignment with my values or my business partner filter or my new business filter. And that's how I do the tiebreaker, where it's like, why do I have a bad feeling about this person? Is one of their traits haunting me and I just can't see it? And then I look at my business partner filter, I'm like, oh, it's these two. Those are the two that keep popping up, and that's why my gut is putting off a 5 alarm.
So you got like a printout that you did? You need to put that in the back of the book that we
That's secret. You got to pay the big bucks for that. That took years of me analyzing who fucked me over and why, and then boiling it down to a filter that's universal across all people, and then saying, okay, got it.
I think when I get into or your famous quote, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. I think I like to go, I started listening to some of the audiobooks. One that I always listen to and bring up is 3 Feet from Gold.
Love 3 Feet from Gold.
That always gets me re-inspired and just keeps me going. I just passed that on to my boy.
It is one of the most interesting true stories of all time. Dude was sitting on what turned out to be the wealthiest gold mine in the West. He hit a fault line, gold stops. He doesn't do any more research. He just goes home. The liquidator comes in, hires a geologist, has him take a look, goes, dude, fault line. 3 feet that way, you're going to hit the gold again. Moves it over.
But he didn't give up after that. He went on to do something else, but
he built a fortune off of selling insurance, but telling that story.
Right, yeah.
That he gave up.
I think, a lot of people, I think that's all success is, just not giving up.
Well, it's definitely that. And it's trying to maintain your sanity and your joy for life without your heart hardening. And then, getting back up, right? Going back to The Alchemist, he says, I think it's in the 10th anniversary edition in the introduction, the key to life is to fall down 7 times, but get up 8.
I just listened to that.
Yeah.
I was listening to the book that you recommended, maybe podcast before last, Grit.
Yeah, Grit's good.
Yeah, I've been listening at the last probably like 4 weeks. I've been listening to that. And while I was in here setting up today, it said, get knocked down 7, rise 8 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, what is she? A Harvard psychologist that analyzed human behavior and found the only common trait of successful people was grit.
Grit and finding a purpose in what you do, and also loving to help people and having purpose. She says she found out that these firemen who love to help people, she wanted to see if they work more overtime than the people who were just in it for personal gain.
Yeah.
But she found out that there was another aspect to it, that they needed to love their job, because the people, the firemen who love helping people didn't necessarily work a lot of overtime or more overtime than the people who were in it for personal gain. But they found out the people who love being a fireman but also loved helping people work substantially more overtime than the people who were just in it for personal gain.
Well, I sent you a quote of a topic we could talk about, and I think it's relevant. You can't have an easy life in great character.
You said that, and I thought about that. I even talked to my boy about it. I said, what you think about that? He's like, he said that was interesting. You can't have an easy life and great character. So does that mean like you can't be friendly and be great?
No.
Or you can't, so?
It means every interesting, grounded, salt of the earth person that you would want to spend time with or hear their story has overcome stuff,
Oh yeah,
right?
trials and tribulations.
Well, that's how character is built.
Yeah,
And this goes back to grit, because I think grit is the foundation of developing character, because character is only going to come from the ability to persevere and endure hard situations
and not giving up.
and not giving up, which then turns into character. Because every amazing moment in my life, you think about the wins or you think about the losses, but it's like I'm most proud of overcoming unbelievable obstacles. That's what I'm most proud of. Like, you want to hear about, Greg, what makes you special? I can fucking endure. I can accomplish shit against all odds. And sometimes it doesn't feel like I'm going to get through it. It feels like the storm is too strong. The rain is too powerful. The winds are too hard. The fucking, just all hell is breaking loose. But eventually, the storm lets up and you get to look at the world a little bit different because you were in the eye of it. And you go, damn, that's pretty cool. I don't know anybody that's been able to do that before.
Right, like that. Or one, they also said in the book, but I think you showed me the video a long time ago when Will Smith said, see what two things going to happen if we get on this treadmill. He said, you're going to get off or I'm going to die.
That's right. I'm going to die trying to beat you.
Right.
That's how hard I am willing to go.
And that's what I thought about when you said you have your endurance. Because you're like, I'm not stopping.
Unless something very bad happens.
Right.
And then that's it's not beyond your control, but that's not an excuse. It's, okay, I broke my fucking leg. Right. And I had to hop 7 miles.
Leslie Goggins, who just taped his leg up, makes in that room.
Lets his organs shut down, almost dies. Yeah, if you got tape, great. I mean, fuck. But it is interesting, going back to the character thing, like, you can't have an easy life and have great character. And I think that's the most important thing I want for my kids, which is great character.
And also, how about being optimistic? Always seeing
the potential.
Just seeing like, oh, that was bad, but at least it didn't hit this flower.
Yeah.
I still have this one flower left.
Well, that's a full-time job, teaching your kids that shit. Things go bad and they're like, my coach hates me. No. This is what you signed up for. You're not delivering. Hold up your end of the bargain. Go put in the work and go back out there. And that's life. That's why I love sports for kids. It's not that sports are the end-all be-all, but it's manufactured adversity.
Yeah. In sports, I was okay. I wasn't a star. I never was a star. Like, all my friends around me, it was nice as fuck.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, I started, I played, but I wasn't making the paper.
You had other interests, though.
Yeah,
you were in the marching band. You're selling T-shirts.
I thought I was going to. You're right. I really didn't practice football like I should be on, after hours. It was just like football practice is for football practice.
Yeah. Well, I think.
And I'm going home and I'm playing some video games.
Well, I think about you, and I think about you in a football uniform at the halftime show playing the drums. That's what I think about.
I was the only one who could do the Michael Jackson.
All right. Yeah.
I was nice. But like you said, now these kids out here, they doing drills. Like, I played football. I don't think I ever went to the weight room in high school.
I didn't lift till I got to college.
Yeah, I don't think I ever lifted weights. I just played.
I got there and they go, all right, weight test. You're going to bench your weight. You're going to do this many squats. You're going to do this. And I worked construction all summer. So I walked up to the coach. I'm like, hey, man, I didn't lift this summer. I've been working construction. He's like, yeah, I don't care. You're going to bench your fucking weight or you're cut. I was like, damn. So I drank, I don't know, 3 freaking Red Bulls or some shit, went into that weight room, threw that bench up for the first time in my life. Obviously, I did it okay. But you want to talk about these little moments of, well, I have an excuse. I work construction.
Yeah, I've been trying to teach my daughter about excuses.
They're like assholes. Everybody's got one and they all...
She already know what I'm going to say. It was like, what's that? Right? It's not an excuse. I'm like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So I'm kind of, getting it in her right now to know that, like, we don't do excuses.
No.
We don't have excuses.
I used to tell this quote to my U13 team: excuses are the nails in the coffin of failure.
God damn.
These 13-year-old kids are like, what the fuck, dude?
Now they probably know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they do. Well, and it's so funny because, like, I didn't have kids. I was 24 at the time.
Heart.
I had no kids. I'm playing pro lacrosse and I'm coaching these 13-year-olds who are like trying to step to me to a certain degree. And I'm just in their shit.
At 22, you like, do you imagine just looking back now how young we were at 22?
And again, I thought I was so old. Every time you think you're so old.
That's what I'm saying. When you're a kid, you see a teenager. I used to love looking out my window when I was in elementary school and I seen the high schoolers standing at the bus stop out front of my house.
They might have all been 40.
Dang.
I know. And now
I wait till I stand out there.
And now I look at them, I'm like,
babies.
I dare you to step to me.
You babies.
I dare you to disrespect me at my home. David Brooks, though, has some good books on character.
I've been still trying to get around to that one book, the Circle, the hero's journey. I've been trying to get around to I haven't totally got it because it's so many. I look it up. It's so many out there. I'm like, I don't know which one to get.
So the hero's journey is actually an interview format.
Okay.
And there's actually a documentary that you can watch.
You already sold me.
Yeah. And they interview Joseph Campbell. And he's just basically
just gonna watch that one there.
And it'll save you because basically it's the exact, how did you become a professor? Why did you spend your entire life basically decoding every myth that has ever happened to then create the hero's journey template? And it's really interesting.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna watch that then.
Yeah, it's good. And you get to see him in all of his glory. I think he's living in Hawaii or somewhere hot because he's like sweating through a silk shirt.
All right. So what's the next question?
All right. How do I get good advice? Good luck.
Advice on what? Just anything?
Yeah. Well, I think, everybody wants to know, they want answers. And I think a part of the problem, you talk to people and they go, well, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. One is the ability to be able to receive good advice. I wasn't able to receive good advice in the beginning. I was so stubborn. Right? So it's like, how do you get good advice? Good luck. I mean, that's going to be your life's work, is basically being ruthless with your ability to analyze advice. And then you basically have to be a scientist.
Just pick through it.
And test it, be unemotional about who's giving you the advice, see whether or not it works, and then you begin to create this Rolodex or this book of, let's just call it, experts in specific fields that can help you by category for a specific topic. And that's going to take a long time. If you luck out and get a mentor that is just the second coming and can help guide you, then you're a better man than me.
I've been looking for a mentor for a long time.
Same.
Haven't came across one yet.
I know. I'm just out here reading books, being my own mentor, which is annoying.
Let me say a mentor in a specific occupation, which is cinematography.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking, but I mean, I had mentors.
Well, for categories.
Yeah.
Like specific little areas, let's call them micro mentors.
I even learned stuff from my friends, from my wife, from you. So, everybody.
Well, I'm learning stuff from everybody. Yeah. And it's, what's interesting is the new locked-in packaging we're working on. Broadly and Severn have a really good eye. And they give me a very different perspective on what a teenage boy thinks is cool, what a teenage girl thinks is cool.
Okay.
And I've added them into my mix because the past couple products that we've developed from a packaging perspective, they've both given me very, very good insight into what they see and why. So I've added them into my mix of, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And they're like, this sucks. This is good. I like this color. I don't like that. So again, learning from people, you got a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old providing some interesting insight about what their generation thinks is cool or not cool.
I only send you stuff that I feel like going back and fixing. That's what I send it to you. When I send it to you, that means I'm really serious about it. Because I already know it's going to come back like.
Well, I do ask. I ask ahead of time. I go, what are you looking for from me with this thing?
You do.
I'm like, do you want, ruthless anal Greg and his attention to detail, like to an obsessive level? And you're like, well, this is what I want.
Or I'm just sending it to you as a friend, like, hey, check this out.
Yeah, right. I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't think it really matters because as soon as I send you something, it's like, that's cool. You need better actors.
Well, my favorite was like, does this person actually smoke? And you're like, no. I'm like, then no.
My cousin said that as well.
Really?
My cousin, I had her on set. She said, I like it. He said, but he doesn't smoke, does he? I said, no. I said, you could tell. He said, yeah, because he was holding a cigarette.
Right. Like he was like,
yeah.
And then he was like this.
And we never even looked at that. And I told him, I said, my boy said, I smoke a cigarette. He started laughing. Oh,
because when you see somebody that fucking smokes, or they hit it with like, they cover it, right? If the wind's out, or they throw it in a, they're not out here.
But I think he fixed it on the next one.
All right.
I'll be sending it to you.
All right.
So we'll be on.
We're on advice and mentors and how to figure out who's who and what's what, and then also just the ability to receive advice or even get it. I got a good quote in here from Eddie Murphy. The advice I would give to someone is not to take anyone's advice. And I actually preface, anytime I'm talking to a young entrepreneur, that's what I say. I go, before I tell you what I think, this is coming from a man that has gotten the absolute shit kicked out of him for a long ass time. The reason I was able to turn a one product into a national brand is because I literally didn't listen to anybody in the beginning. So whatever I'm about to tell you, ignore it. And the only reason I'm telling it to you is because you asked me to tell you.
Like the old folks say, take it with a grain of salt.
And more than that, take it with a fucking salt bath.
Right.
Right? Because I think that you need to be a little reckless in the beginning. You know, you can't color in between the lines if you're going to do something special.
Right.
And that goes back to the character thing. You know, nobody who has had an easy life has great character. It's fucking impossible. Right? Like, think about if your life was a book, would anybody want to read it? If your life was a movie, would anybody want to watch it?
I guess that would depend on them seeing the end result.
Maybe. But I can tell you as an outsider looking in, if this is like the first half of your movie's fucking lit, dude.
Yeah,
like you're but I mean, like, your movie is some 8 Mile shit with Eminem. It is, though.
We have been having a good time.
But again, it's from, you were from nothing. Nothing. You were fucking airbrushing barbershops and
Big time, babe. What you talking about?
and fucking drawing rap album covers and not being able to pay your fucking electric bill.
Uncle always called me the starving artist. My uncle gave me that name.
Right.
He was like,
You were in the beginning.
yeah. I mean, all artists, I was not trying to get a job.
Well,
Nothing.
well,
I did not want to work. I always, and like I said, you know, you're an entrepreneur, and I think my dad instilled in me entrepreneurial, you know, God bless the child who has his own. So I'm always out there like I'm selling candy.
Yeah.
Then I moved up to selling shirts.
not at a profit. Doing all of it for free. But you were always hustling, though.
Yeah, I was always a hustler.
Yeah.
That was instilled in me from my dad, my grandmother, my uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do.
But then it comes back to, would anybody want to watch this movie? Yeah, they would. And it'd be fucking lit. You know? Would anybody want to watch my movie? Yeah, they would. It'd be fucking lit. And shout out to Mark Wahlberg. I think you should make a series, right? Because he did Entourage.
Mm-hmm.
Undressed, my book, should be his next Entourage. That would be the most fucking lit TV show of all time. All time.
Your book is actually like a movie script.
It is.
My favorite part is where you go into this abandoned warehouse. I just love the vision. Like you say, it looked like a meth lab. Like you got tarps around. And
Yes.
they
We're
was in
fucking whisking salad dressing.
Then the person on the building comes in.
Record.
I was there.
Bro. So it was this big. It was actually bigger than this. We got this tarp kitchen set up. Brian's in full Helly Hansen in the middle, whisking. We got 2 tables of people on handy fillers, filling bottles, and it's all dudes from Annapolis Gardens, right? They're all high as shit. And it's 25 black dudes, me and Brian, right? And we're fucking around, and we're not supposed to be, like, we rented it, but we told them it was a warehouse.
Right.
So we were not supposed to be making anything in there. And it was a short-term, month-to-month lease until we found an actual production facility. And this dude shows up in like a vest and dress slacks and some loafers with 2 business people that are looking to rent it. They walk in the door. The record stops. Every dude looks at him and dead stares him, and no one says shit. And the guy goes, just showing a potential tenant here. How you guys doing? And no one says anything. We're all in shock. We just go. They slowly back out like they walked into a fucking meth lab.
Oh, man.
We all look at each other. We go, pack it up. We fucking shut that place down that day, put it in that Penske truck, and dipped and never went back.
Did you pay him last month's rent?
Oh, yeah, we paid him, and we cleaned it. We had like a floor scrubber come in. Like, it looked like we had never been there ever.
That's one of my favorite. You explained that so good in the book. I just seen it in my head, and I was just laughing because I know all the people. I was laughing.
Dude, I
like, this bitch crazy.
Well, and they said that the whole time. Like, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. We're like, yes, we are. I've lost my mind. I'm going until we win. I don't care what it takes. But again, it was something interesting going back to the original topic we were talking about, brain and reason versus gut. My gut just kept saying, go. I know you're scared. I know this doesn't make any sense. I know this seems right now like it cannot work. But this language of the desert, like, go. You have a green light. Keep going. I'll let you know when it's time to stop. And it's not going to be anxiety and it's not going to be fear, because that's going to come every day. It's going to come and it's going to go.
Right.
And it's your job to filter through that to see where is your gut actually telling you go or don't go. Because again, it's like, I'm scared every day. I got anxiety about something every fucking day. That's not my gut though. Right? And so when you know anxiety is fear of the unknown, and you know fear is a made-up response probably to the anxiety because you're in your own head too much.
Right.
And then you can find peace and filter through it, your gut will continue to tell you the same thing. And I think that's how you know when it's not fear, when it's not anxiety, and when it is your gut trying to say it, because it's going to pop up. And it's this consciousness. It's like, and it's not your brain's reason either. I don't want to say it's the voice of God, but it's probably the most similar to how I've heard that described.
Right. Yeah.
Where it's not your own thoughts. It's a voice telling you to do something, and it's consistent.
Like, just keep going. Sometimes I'll be thinking about stuff, even not even to now, but back when we just started doing stuff. You know, so I was thinking like, maybe when I got another raise and I went up a notch or something, it's just in my mind, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or when we do something like, dang man, I'm ready to do that. Like, this is pretty big in my mind. You kind of get scared, like, oh shit, where I'm ready to go now.
I know.
I'd be like, ooh. And then you step up another level, you be like, or when you just think back on something like, damn, I just rebranded a whole, I just made a whole 27 bottle layout design, like, holy shit, was
But you can't think about it going into it. That's the interesting part, because it's too big to process.
you just do it.
Yeah, it's too much. And I think that's one of the keys where it's like, okay, I'm on my journey to the pyramids. I'm going to keep using the alchemist as a reference point. You just got to go one day at a time.
Yeah, it's just like you said, you can't come from the bottom of the mountain and get in the helicopter and go to the top.
Right.
Because then when you come back down,
Right,
you're not going to have
You're on this fucked.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to make it back down.
Yeah. And I think that is the most interesting concept, and why so many people fall when they get to the top is because they didn't take the steps, or they didn't go all the way. You know, there's Mount Washington. You can drive your car up it,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get a bumper sticker. My car climbed Mount Washington. Okay. Well, that's not the same as climbing it.
Right.
And you don't understand the terrain. You can see it. but you don't really understand
Walking it.
walking it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, just you see a lot of those type of stories when people who just go straight from down here and they go straight to the top, and then they just like lose all their money or they just spin out.
I mean, they all
You're like,
spin out.
oh man, what happened? Man, it was so good.
I know.
But like, I guess it's too much all at once. You remember when you used to have the when you used to eat and then they say you can't get back in the pool? You gotta wait about 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think it was 20 minutes, but
Especially after hot dog. What you doing getting back in that pool right now? You got to wait 20 minutes after you eat. Get back in the pool.
yes.
I feel as though some way that might relate.
In some way, that's going to relate. But I do, it is something, it's like a process. It's a sustainable process. Not so much the hot dog to the pool, but in theory, if you want to maximize the amount of time you're in a pool, you know, if you eat
After.
Yeah. Right.
Go swimming
Really
first.
fast. Burn some fat while you're at it.
You know who took a while and it seemed like they've been there forever, like Samuel Jackson and Morgan Freeman.
No, they started so late too.
I don't know if they started late. I think they've been doing stuff, but they just never like broke out.
Well, I'm
until,
saying like they didn't catch their break till late.
And I always look that up because I'll be like, God damn, it's taking me a long time. But then they say it's like people who made it in their 40s and they were like Samuel Jackson or who came in late, like Samuel Jackson, Morgan Freeman. There was a few of the McDonald's guy.
Yeah, Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
The Kentucky Fried Chicken dude.
Kentucky Fried. He was like
Colonel
72,
Sanders,
wasn't he? Or
yeah.
like that.
Still got time.
Yeah, man.
We still got time.
But yeah, I'm kind of not thinking about that no more like I used to. Every blue moon, you know, I wake up like, God damn.
Mine's project specific. So it's not so much my life as much as it's like, this project should be going better, right? This should be more effective. How is this person able to take something that sucks and make it better than I'm able to make something similar when this is better?
So how do you get out of that?
I don't.
You know, you're not thinking about it. You go back to work.
Right. I focus on the shit that matters. My fucking kids and my health and my lovely wife and my dogs and continuing to build the brands and fight the good fights and do the things that I can control.
But sometimes it just pop back up. Man, what is going on?
I think that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I see these people like giving advice or writing shitty books or whatever it is. I'm just like, what the am I fucking missing something here?
I'm the same way. I'm trying to make you a viral video. I'm like, I've been trying to make it since Tessie Mae. It's like, what the where is my viral video at?
We're not ready. I'm not ready yet, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And guess what?
When I be looking at all these other, like, that went viral.
I know.
Like,
well, and it comes back, though, to the thing of, I always found God gives you what you want when you no longer want it.
Yeah, we just go viral. We're like,
Dude, that's everything, though. Think about it. Think about everything we've done. If you look back now, we've done everything. Every time it comes, it's when we're on to the next thing.
Yeah,
there you go. And you're like, fuck this. I don't even give a shit anymore.
Yeah, we don't even care about that.
And you're like, where's Red? What about this thing? Isn't this great? And I'm like, I literally don't care. I do not care. Because we spent months or years and we're like, oh man, this has to happen right now. It has to happen right now. Doesn't happen. And we're like, fuck it. I guess it's just not going to happen. Let's move on. We move on. And it's like, surprise. You're like, I don't even fucking want this anymore.
Like, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah, I'm on the next thing, dude.
And I guess that's just how it is, you know. And I was just thinking about, like, people who want songs be popping next summer, they probably released them in the beginning of 2025, and they just start to get popular in 2026.
It happens all the time.
Because you just got to keep on, because you ever look at a song like, oh, man, this song came out like 9 months ago.
Uh-huh. Well, The Alchemist took 6 years. He published that book, and it didn't get traction. He thought it was a total failure. for 6 years. That's crazy. Now it's been translated into like 40 languages or something. Presidents have been seen reading it.
That's like artwork. Artwork usually don't pop off till the artist pass away.
That's right. Van Gogh.
Yeah, especially like the photographers. They usually don't jump off until they're gone. They're like, took such beautiful pictures. Look at this. I was like, God dang.
Well, I mean,
that's what I signed up for.
it makes it rare, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I can't get any more of these. Let's appreciate this dude's tortured life. That's what it is. I think Van Gogh was the person that made him famous, I think, was his sister-in-law. And she had an art gallery. And she published a book about what every painting meant through the letters that he wrote her. And once that book was published,
people started going,
and he was dead, that, I believe, is when he popped off.
He didn't even get to see it.
He
was just going for the pure enjoyment of creating.
That's like me,
I think
dude.
that's where I'm at now.
I don't sell any of my paintings.
You don't. You're a pretty good artist, too.
Thank you.
I have them on my iPad.
Now, unlike most artists that don't sell their paintings, I will sell them for the right price.
You don't even show them, but we are making you a website.
Inside scoop.
Yeah, you don't even show them. I just started posting my little sketches.
I like them.
From Inktober.
Love Inktober.
That's the one time I really dedicate.
It's every day, too.
Yeah, for 30 days.
Yeah.
I really dedicate time to do that.
And your shit gets weird, which I like.
I mean, they give me the words. I made a whole song out of one of the prompts this year.
Which one? The song you just did?
No, it's called You're Heavy.
Oh.
It's a booty shaking song.
Love booty shakings.
Me and Whitey made it.
Love that.
It's a beautiful song. It's on iTunes.
That defined my high school booty shaking songs.
It's a beautiful thing.
This is the Greg Vetter Podcast. Maurice Taylor in the house, having a wonderful chat. We will be back, and we will continue to dig into the field guide. This wasn't as deep in terms of the field guide that we went,
right,
but the topic I thought was better.
Yeah, we just was talking.
We're just getting it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming.